The Commanders, we've talked about on the show, are a team that we want to trust when they're getting a lot of points, but not so much when they are favorites. However, this is a very short spread against one of the worst teams in the league. Jenks, is now the time to trust the Commanders.
I don't know. Look, they beat Atlanta. Awesome. Great. And Desmond Ridder was not good in that game. Desmond Ridder, 3 second-half interceptions. Part of that was a Commander's secondary and a Commander's defense playing much better, but also Desmond Ridder threw some really bad picks in that game, like not even close. Like they should have picked him off. Here's the thing. If you look historically with the Giants and the Commanders, the Giants have really sort of owned the Commanders. Now, Daniel Jones will not play for the Giants, but Tyrod Taylor has been a very good backup / starter in this league for a long time. So I don't necessarily think this is nearly as big of a step back as you might think, because you immediately think, oh, the starter's not playing, it's a backup quarterback. Tyrod Taylor is a very good backup quarterback. Here's the thing. Since 2010, the Giants are 16-9-1 straight up against Washington. That includes going 1-0-1 last year. So I would lean Commanders, but Washington has had a hard time being consistent this season. Giants coming off a good performance against the Bills. This might be a decent spot for the G-Men. I'm not going to bet this game, but I am not sold on the Commanders just because it's a short number, because the Commanders just got finished losing 3 straight before that win against the Falcons.
From a watching perspective, what is the game that you want to make sure to tune into? I think Dolphins-Eagles actually looks like a great primetime game. I don't know if I'd take the over 52. 52 seems sky high to me, especially for a primetime game. But, simply from a watching perspective, which game are you most interested in?
Oh, I think you nailed it. Dolphins-Eagles, because you're going to have that night crowd in Philly, which is going to be absolutely insane. You have the Dolphins going on the road away from Miami, and they're not as effective on the road as they are at home. And you have, think about all of just the offensive weapons on both sides of the football. I don't know if they hit the total there, but whether it's the Eagles' offensive weapons or all the speed that the Dolphins have, I think that should be a fantastic matchup.
I'm going to go Dolphins +8 at the Eagles. Feels like the Eagles aren't blowing out teams anymore. I'm not going to overreact too much to them losing, but still, if anybody can put points on the board and at least cover in a teaser, feels like the Dolphins can. Next up, I am going to tease a favorite for the first time, I think, this year. I'm going to go Bills -3 at the Patriots. And next up, we're going to go Lions +9 at the Ravens. This line seems like a trap to me, the fact that the Lions are getting 3 points. So maybe that is your sabotage factor here. But it just feels like the Lions are a team that at least is not going to get blown out. And then finally, this one's a little tricky, but Chargers +11.5 over the Chiefs. This is normally not a number I would tease at +5.5. That's the original number, but it's a divisional game. The Chargers usually play the Chiefs very closely. They're 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 meetings against the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are one of those teams that aren't really dominating most of their games. So, Jenks, who's getting kicked out of the teaser?
Ooh, oh, man. I would say Chargers? I don't know. I think they'll keep it within double digits. They have to. It's a division game. The only thing I would say is, and I mentioned this earlier in the show, if you're looking for a sabotage factor, is that Kansas City hasn't quite put it together yet. So we're still waiting on that dominant performance where Mahomes just goes off and all of his receivers are in the mix. He's tossing it around. Kelsey's in the end zone. Pacheco's running all over the place. So I think on a short week for the Chargers, a Chargers team without Mike Williams for the rest of the season, and Brandon Staley, who could make some sort of boneheaded call that ends up costing you. I think that's your only sabotage factor. I think it's a very strong teaser, though. I would say if I have to pick one, it's maybe the Chargers getting blown out. I don't see it happening, though. I've been hitting unders on the Patriots at a pretty nice clip because they just can't move the ball. But what's the right side here?
Jenks, I think team total under with the Patriots, another good look this week. But I would lay it with Buffalo, -8.5. But, the Bills, I know last week they didn't blow out the Giants, but, you were coming back from London. Obviously, all the familiarity Brian Dable has with that offense. They had a great game plan to shut down the Bills. But the Bills' defense has still been really, really good this year. They are missing two of their best players in Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White, who are going to be out for the year. But like you said, the Patriots' offense has been so bad. This isn't going to be a team that exploits them on defense. And even against the Raiders, it was a struggle for the Patriots to score last week. They need 8-9-minute drives just to score a touchdown. There's no explosiveness whatsoever. I think Buffalo absolutely rolls. 5 of their last 6 matchups, the Bills have won by double digits. They're going to blow out the Patriots again, coming off a stinker. Even though the Bills have been the team to beat in the AFC East, they know what it means to their fans, to their organization, their franchise, to roll against the Patriots. I think they do again this week. I like Bills 8.5.
I think you got to play the Phillies in some regard, even though Merrill Kelly deserves some credit. I think along with Zach Allen, he is also their 1B. He doesn't have the strikeout stuff that Zach Allen has, and he's not the young gun. But still, Merrill Kelly is a battle-tested veteran who just did really well against a Dodgers lineup that usually hits him up pretty well. So somebody who has a good postseason ERA this year. Maybe player props are a way to look. I am looking over at BetMGM right now for some of these prices. Corbin Carroll has been on fire, but he's minus 185 to get a hit. You would probably have to get hits plus total runs or something on him. Somebody to monitor if you don't want to play the Phillies side. Corbin Carroll hitting 381 for the postseason. But what about the Bash Brothers for the Phillies? Doesn't it feel like every single night we are saying something about either Bryce Harper or Nick Castellanos? And there goes a deep drive to left as I am talking. Nick Castellanos hitting another home run. It just feels like to me, bottom line, nobody is slowing down the power bats for the Philadelphia Phillies. Even if Merrill Kelly pitches well, it feels like they have the bats to put the punishment down on even the best relievers who come out of the pen for Arizona. So I don't know the creative ways to play this one, and I'm searching my brain for it. And also, this game was just last night, so we haven't had a ton of time to digest what's going on here. But is it just Phillies for you? Have you looked at a total here? Because I thought the under was the play for game one, just because the pitching matchup was the best that we'd see. Is it time to start looking at overs here, though?
Yeah, I looked at that as well. This is a tough one. It's slightly juiced to the under, total set at 8, but I think I would look at the over here, honestly, just because I think one of the reasons why is A, the Philly bats, and then B, as good as Aaron Nola has been, I do think the D-backs can touch him up just a little bit. But really, Merrill Kelly, it's tough balancing what we've seen in the postseason versus what we've seen during the regular season. Merrill Kelly, fantastic in his playoff starts this year, but also on the road this season. If you look at his home versus road splits, his ERA was more than 2 runs higher when pitching away from home. And again, the postseason matters. It is different, but against this Philly team in this environment, with the way they're swinging the bats right now, I feel like that. I'm not saying I'm necessarily fading Merrill Kelly completely, but I do think Philly can hit him because they're hitting everyone right now.